The FNRad Snowboard Podcast is presented by Vans. Hey listeners, before I start the show this week, I'm going to talk about some sponsors. First and foremost, Fat Tire Amber Ale signed on as the presenting sponsor of the Plug Podcast this week. So congratulations to Russell. Wired Snowboards, who sponsors FNRad, launched their 2021 snowboard season website this week, so go check that out at wiredsnowboards.com. Wired has donated a snowboard for the raffle we're running to raise money for Stoke.org. Tribute Board Shop in Nelson, BC has donated a shop hoodie. The Boardroom has given us a $200 gift certificate. Anon Optics is sending us goggles. And Crow's Nest Barbershops has put together a prize pack. Also, we got Brad Hepner, who's printed out a shot of Chris Duffy blasting in the backcountry and got it signed by Duff. He's given that to us for the raffle. Dakine has pledged some swag. Dano and Russell are working out a signed print of the sick rail shot that ran in Transworld back in the day. That's going to be a serious collectible. And Intuition has given us a pair of liners. So that's custom fit heat molding liners for one lucky winner of the draw. Lots of prizes. Tickets are $10. Buy as many as you want. Vans is matching up to $2,000, and we're almost there. All the money raised goes directly to Stoke.org. Founded by Steve Larosiliere, who is featured on Looking Sideways this week. Looking Sideways is Matt Barr's action sports podcast, and I highly recommend you check it out if you're not already subscribed. All right, here's episode 6 of the Plug Podcast with Russell Winfield. Let's listen together.
What's up? This is Russell Winfield, and welcome to The Plug, presented to you by Fat Tire Beer. This week, I'm going to be having some conversation with NASCAR pit crew leader Derrell Edwards. That's right, I said NASCAR. We're going deep. I'm going to speak with Derrell about his history, the sports he played, how he got into NASCAR, what he thinks about the current state of affairs, and just life in general. So sit back and watch all the left turns.
How was your transition from playing, collegiate level basketball to being a professional pit crew person? How was that for you?
It wasn't too bad of adjustment. The first year was definitely rough, but after I, let basketball go in full, I was able to start, making some higher level and some getting to a different level of the sport and getting better each and every day as a jack, man.
Cool. So do you think that, basketball is a predominantly black sport, African-American sport, whatever you want to call it. You grew up in Baltimore?
Baltimore, yeah.
So do you feel that part of that, you liked what you did in NASCAR, but like the whole thing, you were a little bit thrown off because of the landscape? Are you just not like a car person?
So yeah, I was never really a car person, like far as race cars. I like luxury cars myself personally, but just coming from Baltimore and that whole mindset, man, Russell, it actually prepared me. Coming from Baltimore, I've seen a lot of traumatizing stuff. As a young kid growing up in Baltimore, I've seen some stuff I shouldn't have seen, and that actually prepared me for NASCAR. I even write, on my pit shoes that I do pit stops in, I have seen worse. As a reminder, that this isn't that hard. Everyone may not look like me, but why should I fear or be worried about what, someone else may think? I'm here to do a job, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to work my tail off to not be denied. You won't have no choice but to put me at the highest level on the best car, or however you want to put it, because I'm going to work that hard and be that much better than the next individual. You know what I'm saying? So Baltimore actually prepared me for NASCAR because I've seen so much worse, man. This is, I'm not going to disrespect this sport, but I've seen much worse. So it ain't really a fear of, walking around the track or doing pit stops. This is what I do. I'm ready for it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you feel that growing up in the inner city in BMO and seeing all the brutality and just how your community was treated has giving you a tougher skin and a different perspective on life, or and that way, so that now you had a bunch of lemons and you've made lemonade, for lack of a corny ass term. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So do you feel like that lemonade is like your Popeye spinach?
Right. Yeah, man. It's yeah, exactly what you said, Russell. It's prepared me where, yeah, the skin, man. My skin is thick. I feel like I'm tough as nails. Even when I played on the court. That's why I was asked to come and do NASCAR, because of my leadership role, on the basketball court, and my grittiness, scrappiness. That all comes from Baltimore. And yeah, the skin is thick. My household was tough. My dad was a kingpin. My mom and dad, were arrested at the same time at one point in my life. I walked to my 5th grade graduation, by myself. You know what I'm saying? With no parents in the stand. So all of those moments like that, created that thick skin of, this started when I was 10 years old, the thick skin.
Okay.
And yeah, it overly prepared me for these moments, man,
So you that guy that, that they talk about in the hip hop songs, you either got to have a wicked jump shot or sling that shit.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy that you talk about that, Russell, because, and that's why I do what I do now and try to tell my story to kids, because I definitely believe, coming up in a city that's mainly what a lot of people tell you, man. They only tell you it's a few lanes. They tell you, rap, play sports, or be a comedian, or so. I mean, that's 3 lanes, and
that's
with us,
fucked up, but that's
you
true,
feel what I'm
man.
saying? So like,
yeah.
that's engraved in your brain, Russell, coming up in the inner city, and it's wrong. Me and you are living proof of it. We can add on snowboard. We can add on being a pit crew member. But there's real estate. There's doctors. There's all this stuff that they don't talk about. And what pisses me off is that once a kid comes up short of being a basketball player, NFL player, or a rapper, he gives up. And he gets caught back into that cycle of the city, and he ends up either losing his life or going to jail for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I want to tell my story, and that's why, I appreciate you having me on here today. And that's why when I get very passionate about it, because that narrative's got to change. What we're telling the young black and brown kids.
And here's the thing for me, it's like kids of privilege have a safety net. So if they, and it's not just white kids or whatever, it's just children of privilege, children that come from money. It's like, yeah, I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, cool. I got this safety net of my parents, and then I can bounce back. So they're not, there's no plan B for them. Plan B is to go back to mom and dad and just, reset. But if you put all your eggs proverbially in one basket and plan A don't work, plan B is what you said, slinging dope, robbing somebody, and that doesn't end up nowhere but prison or a box.
Yep.
Because we didn't give, the education system as such in the hood is not good. Okay? So these kids aren't being taught stuff. They're not, they're not, there's no education. There's no, for these kids to be like, oh, shit, I'm real good at math. I could be an engineer. Or, oh, shit, I'm real good at writing. If I don't rap, I could be a journalist, or I could be a novelist, or an editor, or, man, I love helping people.
And
Maybe I could be a doctor.
And a lot of that stuff, man, it comes back on our own community sometimes, too. Like, obviously, the opportunity, there's a lack of it. That's obvious, right? But we also got to stop making it like those are the only, like, people only want to do the cool stuff, Russell. And that falls under the categories of the NFL, the NBA, the rapper. That's the cool guy when he come back to the hood. The guy that made the league, Carmelo, he made the league. He can come back to the Baltimore hood anytime. Much respect. But the guy that's an engineer coming out of Baltimore, no one knows who he is. He don't get that same respect. So that's another reason as to why they only shoot for those 3 lanes, because that's the only thing that's cool and respected when you come back to the hood.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for them to give up when they fall short of those things, man. But we gotta make, that ain't the only cool things. Pit stops is cool to me. NASCAR is cool to me. I'm breaking down barriers for the culture.
You know what's cool to me? Having a check and having a good credit score.
Exactly.
That's cool to me.
Exactly. So when they say, that's real man stuff right there, Russell. Buying a house, having a credit, getting married, whatever the case may be, however you want to do it.
Sending your children to college, giving your children opportunity. Exactly. This isn't a one generation kind of thing. We've been downtrodden as a community forever, and I love what you said about how we need to take it upon ourselves partially. Like, you can point fingers all day, but pointing fingers, you need to send that finger around at yourself sometimes and just be like, check this out. So cool. You made the league. Awesome. But what about there's how many people on a basketball team along with the bench? 8, 10, 12?
Probably 15, yeah.
15. So in high school, maybe 1-2 kids is going to play professionally per team. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. And that's worldwide. That's China, that's Europe, that's the States, that's Canada, that's worldwide. So what are the other 13 kids going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I played a pretty high level of sports growing up. And so, in 9th grade, who's got a shot, and that's the cold truth. Who's got a shot at the league and who doesn't. And even the ones who do, they still got to stay healthy. So we need to let these kids understand that education is paramount, and it's not. And cool, we need to change the optic of cool.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk a little bit about NASCAR, and I want to congratulate you, first and foremost, being the first black man to win. It was the Daytona 500, huh?
Yep. Yes, sir, as a pit crew member.
You on the team, bro. If you on the team, you win. That's it. Sir. Like I told my older daughter when she was young, I'm 100% against participation trophies, brother. I'm 100% against it. And I'll tell you why. Because you shouldn't get a trophy for showing up to something that you want to do. That's not why you get the trophy. You get the trophy for being the best of that and putting the work in. You ain't putting no work in because you got out of bed and went to go play a game that you asked your parents if you could play. So,
that's not
that's not it.
That don't separate, because everybody can do that.
Exactly.
It doesn't separate you.
So
everybody can show up.
Yeah. So being on the team, and winning. If you on the team and you won, you had a part in that win. You won. So congratulations, brother. That's huge.
Appreciate it.
You're the first one. I've been the first one in some stuff in my life, and I just hope both of us inspire somebody that looks like us or feels like us to do something too, because that's really what it's about, right?
Absolutely.
I want to talk to you a little bit about how you made the change, because you were that kid who was going to go to the league, and you had to redirect. Now, how did you do that, bro? Like, what steps did you take to allow that to happen inside your head? Because it's one thing to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it for a check. Fuck it. It's another thing to be like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the best at this. Like, and this is a huge lesson that you learned yourself that could be huge for people.
Yeah. So it's man, I was at High Point University. I'm gonna kind of tell a story with it.
So
I went to a JUCO. I was just coming from a JUCO, a national championship run in JUCO, 36-0 record. Incredible season. I seen perfection. I can literally say I seen perfection when it comes to a sports season. and I go to High Point University, a Division I school in North Carolina. Man, I'm a junior. I'm playing. I've been the guy. I've been the man. Coming through high school, JUCO All-American as a freshman, all of those accolades, right? So I get to High Point, and I'm hooping, man. I'm hooping, and I'm not getting results, on the court. This is like, I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm in the gym day in and day out, trying to get better. But the ball just not going in the hole for me as much as it's done all my life up until this point. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yo. So I got stressed. It's stressful nights. I'm in a dorm. I get to start praying. I get to start opening a Bible. You know what I'm saying? Something I've never really done. And I'm like, man, is this saying do something else? Because I'm still playing 30 minutes on the court. Like, I'm still playing the whole game. Still the captain of the team, running everything. And, I actually Googled, like, what's the percent of making the NBA, as a college athlete. And the percent was low, Russell. It was super low. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I never really even looked this up. That's kind of, it's hitting home now. Like, the guy that went to Kansas that averaged 10 ain't go. I'm at High Point. I'm averaging 5. I'm like, whoa. So all of this fantasy life that I've been in, I might got to take a step back and see, can I really make the league? I don't know, man. It's tough. So, so I started being a realization with myself and growing up as a man versus, bluffing myself out. I'm like, yo, I might got to start, looking at some other stuff. So my senior year, I got this guy keeps talking to me about NASCAR. He's bringing it up. Hey, man, you're a captain. You're a lead on the team. Strong dude. Man, you should come check out NASCAR. I think you'd do great in it. I'm still on the fence. I'm like, man, I think I can go overseas. Like, I ain't playing good right now, but I can do it. I mean, I know I can put the ball in the hoop, So, but eventually, man, I wound up taking him up on his offer after March Madness and had lunch with the guy. Went and saw Richard Childress Racing, which is a NASCAR company. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to make the league. And the lesson was this, to kind of listen to what's going on around you, like not ignore that the ball wasn't going in the hoop for me. And then also, when you talk about, we can go back and talk about our community, I wasn't getting those same phone calls, Russell, in college. Averaging 5 at High Point University, a mid-major, versus if I went to a Duke or a Kansas or whatever you want to call it, I wasn't getting those phone calls from the people in the hood no more. I wasn't getting those text messages from the people in the hood no more. So it made me realize, like, dang, all this time I've been doing it for the hood, but when it ain't going all good, the hood ain't there. Gone. Exactly. So that's the lesson, Russell. That's the lesson. And I was like, man, I got to figure out a way to put food on the table for myself because my college season's about to run out. And what am I going to do next to be able to live the lifestyle that I want to live? And you got to think, it was ingrained in my head that the only way I could have a nice house, a nice amount of money in my bank account, this and that, I had to go to the league. That's what I always was ingrained in my brain, But nah, man, life is good. Life is good. So, and I'm in NASCAR now, and I'm having a lot of success in it. But yeah, Russell, that's kind of like the gist of the story of the lesson learned, and like, I had to stop doing it for my hood and do it for myself.
Because the hood wasn't there for you.
The hood respects it, and if not, that just is what it is.
Fuck it, man. It's so you're in the end. You say listen to the inner monologue, correct? Like, put your inner monologue and watch what's happening around you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you can't ignore the signs. You can't ignore the signs, man. I use basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we can go back to it. I'm from Baltimore. I'm from the hood. My parents wasn't going to ever have the money to send me to college, right? So I went out there and grinded from AAU to high school to having to go to JUCO route, to earning, a full scholarship in JUCO and Division I. So I use basketball. You know what I'm saying? So going to High Point, I did enough with it. I met a lot of people, made a lot of relationships, and I've also learned growing up. Relationships is the currency. Money ain't everything. The relationship gonna bring currencies.
Yes, sir.
And that's what's got me on this podcast with you today. And it's gonna be a relationship. After this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's it's crazy what you say about the hood, man. W.E.B. Du Bois had some stuff to say about the hood and about the crabs in the barrel. And
hey, man, it's funny you say that. It's very ironic. A crab is the logo of the state of Maryland.
Okay,
people,
it is.
People
Blue
bring
crab,
that up.
yellow
And
blue crab.
if you got a bushel of crabs in a basket and one guy starts creeping his way out, what's the crabs gonna do, man?
They pulling them back down.
Exactly.
And that's something that we as a people need to fix.
Yeah, man, for sure.
And that's why I keep my circle real tight, my brother.
Got
you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm a bit older than you, Moses, so I've seen just a little bit more. Maybe not a whole ton, but I I'm not worried about the hood or about Joe Blow and Jane Smith over there. I got my people, I got my family, and that's it for me, man.
No doubt.
Because you know what? When I fall down, these are the people that are going to be there to help me get back up.
Yeah.
The hood is going to be like, he used to be, but he ain't shit now. People. Yeah.
Man, I follow this guy, man, Wallow267 on Instagram, man. This guy's from like Philly. He did a lot of time in prison, and I listen to him a bunch because that's one guy that's like, I ain't gonna say exposing the hood. He's just keeping it real about the hood. You know what I mean? Like they'll say you changing. They say you've changed. I ain't changed. You just looking at me different. You're painting this picture of me changing. You know what I mean? So I love that guy, man. Like if you don't know him or haven't seen his stuff, man, cool guy, real down to earth. But he's keeping it real about the hood and in general. You know what I mean? What's cool.
What's cool is being successful and having your children be successful and your children's children be successful.
And breaking that chain, that cycle that everybody gets caught up, that a lot of people get caught up in, from the hood. Let's change it, man. And I'm trying to break that cycle. Like I don't have kids, but when I do, that cycle's broke. Yeah. I'm gonna live and die by, breaking that cycle. I'm not gonna be a crash dummy and follow the wrong stuff. That ain't cool.
No, you already broke the circle, brother. Right. Your parents were both, doing their thing.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
And they're doing great now. You know what I mean? Because honestly, they look at me as I'm giving them inspiration now. At whatever age they are, they're in their 50s. Like I'm giving them hope. I'm giving the game now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing it the right way. There ain't nothing like legal money, bro.
No,
can't
you can
nobody
spend
take
that.
Nothing that I have.
You can spend that. You can buy things that stay around, not just shoes and $9,000 cars. You know what I'm saying? You can put stuff in your own name.
No doubt.
But you can't do much with dope dealer money, really. I mean, look, I don't know, man. I'm proud of you, Derrell, and I think what you're doing is good. No, I think what you're doing is amazing. And I think that you got a foundation. You want to say something about that at all? Or?
Yeah, man. So, I'm kind of, I've been living by, the slogan of underrated. I kind of started selling a couple merchandise, nothing crazy. I wore it for the longest time since 2010, I never felt like I was getting the credit that I deserve, as a basketball player, but continued to hold my own all across the country against the best of the guys and even some guys that are in the NBA now. So I started, wearing and branding underrated, because underrated actually means to underestimate the extent, value, or importance of something or someone. In life, I tell people, you're counted on, you're not counted out, especially the youth. I hate when I hear an older person say, yeah, they're just getting worse and worse with time. The next generation ain't going to be no better. That's bullshit.
Whose fault is that, though? That's the fault of the guy that's saying they're getting worse and worse. Well, do something about it then.
Exactly. So that's where it stems from. You know, I always tell the youth, you know, you counted on. I'm counting on y'all to change the narrative. You know, so yeah, man. Underrated clothing. You know, I'm starting to sell it and get it all done. You know, everyone can follow me, you know, on Instagram at Derrell Edwards 3. You know, and yeah, man, I'm always trying to keep people informed, and you know, my social media platforms ain't nothing but inspiration. You know, I don't do it for boasting. It's to inspire the next person and motivate the next person. You know, so.
Okay. So, I wouldn't be doing our community justice. I didn't just touch on one part of NASCAR, man, and this is your job, and so I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not putting you out there or anything like that. But the whole Bubba Wallace thing, what is going, like, I mean, they had that one, like, NASCAR truck driver who was 50 years old, who probably hadn't sat in the seat for 10 years, who had to quit because of the Confederate flag and this and that. But as a whole, how do you feel NASCAR is? Because I'm in a sport that's not, it's the northern version of NASCAR. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's 4 or 5 of us. And when I was in it, there was one, and there was me. There was a couple that did it, but I was, you know. So how is the NASCAR community you know, like,
the NASCAR community, man, is taking steps in the right direction.
Okay.
Obviously, I have opportunity. You know, I'm at the highest level, so I'm given opportunity. And it's all from hard work. You know what I mean? I ain't want nobody handing me nothing of how I look or the color of my skin. But yeah, man, it's a tough deal, and it's all around the world. But like, they're taking steps in the right direction. You know, it's a bold move to get rid of, you know, some people would say the root of their sport. You know, the southernness of their sport. They're taking steps. You know, you got to grow with times. You know, I believe if you're not innovating, you're dying. You know, so they're definitely starting to innovate and push for, you know, diversity in the sport of NASCAR, and that's a cool deal, and I could appreciate that. But yeah, man, you know, people gonna be people, you know, no matter how you look, you know, and yeah, man, that's basically the gist of it, Russ.
Yeah, cool.
They're taking steps, though, man. They're definitely trying, you know.
That's good. That's how you can ask.
We gotta commend them for trying, you know.
I mean, there's millions of people in NASCAR, you know what I'm saying? So to think that overnight something's just all you can do is put one foot in front of the other in the right direction, and I'm good with that. Because eventually, nothing's going to be fixed tomorrow or next year, you know. But if it's better tomorrow than it was today, I'm good. Even, you know, 0.5%. That NASCAR is, you know, 99.9% south of the Mason-Dixon line, isn't it? Or maybe 70%. Did you guys have like a California race or something like that?
Positive. Yeah, but yeah.
So, I mean, and we all know the South is the history of the South and all that. But I'm happy. I follow you. I follow Bubba. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my part as a black man to support NASCAR, doing their part supporting me. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's definitely going to bring some different viewers, and you're also going to lose some viewers. And, you know, that's life. That's life, man. But you have to innovate. You know, as a business, as a sport, you got to innovate or you'll die.
Yeah. I mean, but are they really going to lose viewers, or are they just going to say, because if these people truly loved NASCAR, they're not, I can't believe they're going to leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Or did they love the whiteness of NASCAR? Like, is that what they loved, or did they actually love the sport?
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah,
NASCAR. I just don't have 4 hours, but I peep it out, man. I check it out, and I know if you look in the hood, motherfuckers be wearing the NASCAR coats and all that. So if and they always have. You can watch, rap videos from the 90s. You see Fabulous or one of them in a NASCAR uniform or a Supercross uniform. You know what I'm saying? Like the Fox gear or something like that. And that's ultimately what NASCAR wants, is to sell merchandise, right? And get more eyes so that they can have more and get paid more money from the advertisers. And good on it, because it's a business. And the more money they make, hopefully the more money you make.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy.
Sure.
Well, Derrell, I think we're good, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Unless you have anything you want to say in closing, I'm good. I think we covered some cool stuff, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, in closing, man, I'm here to inspire. I'm here to give the youth wings. I think that the youth deserve wings for sure. And if you're going through life feeling underrated, feeling like you're not getting the value or the credit that you deserve, I always bring up Drake's slogan. Stay committed, fuck the credit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that hard work eventually will pay off. And I'm living proof of it.
Yeah, down. You are. Head down, but keep your eyes open. Right?
No doubt.
You need to see them. You need to look for them signs. Some signs will tell you which way to go.
Absolutely.
All right, Derrell. Well, you have a good day, my brother. And tell Moses I say what's happening.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. Don't go out on the golf course and gamble with that boy.
I heard you're a pretty sneaky golfer yourself. Yeah, I heard that today. Moses let me know.
Sometimes
that dude's unreal on the golf course. Though.
Yeah, he's good. He's real good.
Yeah, but yeah, man.